Last video, we left it at a bit of a rough spot. We did not hit water, and we have been thinking over if we should dig again and where we'll be digging again. We are leaning more towards digging a second time, and I think we will only be digging twice, so hopefully we hit water this second time. And the second site we are planning to dig at has a shed and there's a bunch of tree branches, so we kind of have to clean up that area, get everything out of there so they could bring in that huge rig to dig there. We spoke again with Nathan. He was the guy who came out here, picked a couple sites based off of kind of like land surveys and just his knowledge of geology. I think he's a geologist or a geophysicist. I'm not actually sure his correct title, but yeah, there's a bunch of reports on the land in this area, and so based on his knowledge and what he can see, he chooses a few sites, he tests them, he gets the results back, and the results that we got back said that there was a pretty good chance of water. He said it's usually about 80% accurate. And we were thinking, even if it's not as good as what the report was saying, a bad producing well would still be better than nothing. Unfortunately, there was nothing. We did speak to him. Again, he was super bummed out that we didn't hit water. Because of that, he is worried that the second location, he said something about like the way the tectonic plates form. I am not a geologist and I don't remember too much of the geology class I had to take in college because it was kind of boring. But yeah, he said something about the plates, and because it's, I guess, kind of on the same area, same ridgeline or something, there is a chance that that second spot doesn't have water, and it could be the exact same situation as the one at the very bottom of the hill. We talked to him about maybe checking the top of the property because there is a chance that there is water all the way at the top of there. I know a lot of comments were really confused about why are we checking higher, because people seem to think that if you go higher you have to dig deeper. That is not how the earth works. I can't really give you specifics on that because I'm not a geologist, but yeah, there's no pools of water at every single bottom of the hill. Sometimes because of how the rocks and the tectonic plates or whatever, however that forms, you can find water even at the top of hill. But the biggest issue was we didn't know if a rig could even make it up there. And after talking to the drillers, they said they don't think the rig can get up that high. And the other thing is, even if it could get up that high, that is a lot of electrical and plumbing that you need to run all the way up there. So they said the cost to do something that far away from the house would be super expensive, and they don't really recommend that either. There was a ton of comments and DMs and even some emails recommending that we go with a Dowser. We didn't go with one originally because they're kind of very similar to what Nathan does, but they kind of differentiate between the tools that they use to confirm that there's water. So they start off very similarly. They both pull up records to see what is going on in your area, if there's been any geological reports, any information on the wells in the area, and then they also pick the sites the exact same way based on their knowledge of the type of rocks, the way the land is forming, stuff like that. I don't really know the exact details, but yeah, they basically choose the sites the exact same way. But instead of, sending down that shock wave into the earth to get the readings back, usually they use rods. I think in the past, some people have used a specific tree to get a stick. I'm not exactly sure how that one works out, but yeah, I think nowadays everyone just uses these divining rods to confirm if there is or is not water. Since they are way cheaper, I think Taku wants to hire one, mostly out of curiosity. I personally don't believe in the sticks. I think they're essentially making a very, very good educated opinion about where there is likely water. We figured it's way cheaper than getting another person out here to basically do that x-ray into the ground and give us the results. We're going to have someone come out to do that. And I think it's also just kind of to give us a little bit of hope. Taku will rest easier if we get someone else confirming that there is water. But it'll be interesting if he says that there is no water there. I'm not sure what we'll want to do. Because even Nathan kind of said, maybe we should really think about it. He doesn't really want us to waste our money digging if he's worried that the results are going to be the same. There was also a ton of questions on why we don't just collect rainwater and why we don't just truck in water. So those are definitely options, and we currently live off of rainwater, which has been great this year because we're finally not in a drought. However, if a drought hits, we would basically be out of water and we would have to truck in water. And yes, we can truck in water. It's very expensive. I mean, the average water bill is probably what, $90 to $100 a month to truck water. I read an estimate online that says it's somewhere between $7,000 to $10,000 for 2 people per year. So if we hit a drought and we can't collect our water, which in California we had a drought for a really, really long time. So if that ends up being the situation, yeah, we would have to truck water. And Taco actually made a discovery today. I'm not sure if we've shown you guys this, but we have this behind the house and we thought it was for rainwater, but that maybe they took the pipes off because there is nothing up there to catch it. And when we moved in, it actually smelled so bad. It was disgusting. But I figured, you know what? We can just water the fruit trees with this. So I did have it on a timer, but that tank was so gross that it actually kept clogging the timer. So we stopped using it and decided to clean this thing out. And that was a whole process. It was really gross. It smelled really bad. We basically would wait for the big rainstorms so we could pour it out, and then the rain would kind of take away the really gross smell. But anyways, and I think actually the gunk may have broken the pump. We still kind of need to take it apart and figure that out. But we realized this is a Graywater tank. And I think it has some kind of filter. There is like a drain pump waste holding. I'm not really sure. We literally just figured out what this was today and we haven't really had time to research it. So after we cleaned it out, we refilled it with the rainwater. And I did notice one time it was overflowing a little bit, but Taco had been messing with it, so I thought maybe he just poured too much water and I didn't really mention it to him. But today it was overflowing again, and he realized it was actually some kind of Graywater collection tank. And we had talked about maybe adding that to the house because it would be really, really useful, especially to water the garden. And we figured it would end up being a bit labor intensive as well to add it in. So it's really nice to discover that. However, we still need to figure out how it works because we're not really sure if it's collecting water from every pipe, essentially, basically like laundry, dishwasher, the sinks. It's probably not connected to the septic, so we're not too worried about that. And then we have to figure out if that's a filter of some sort and if we need to switch soaps, because that's the big thing. Sorry, keep hearing rustling behind me. We do have mountain lions in the area, and we have heard a mountain lion crossing through our property. And also our neighbor had a photo of a mountain lion from a few years ago that was just lounging on his deck. So they are here. They don't usually come out at this time, and we've never seen one, just heard it that one time. But anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so we just have to figure out if we need to be switching all of our soaps, because if that's going to be the water we use for the garden, I got to make sure we're not putting anything that's going to kill my plants. We're going to start researching that probably this week. Hopefully, maybe try to figure it all out. But if you guys have any information on that, feel free to comment and let us know, because that would be a ton of help. Yeah, we're very excited about the garden. So hopefully we don't have any water restrictions, because it's been pretty great. We've already had several meals from the garden. Last night we had tri-tip with potatoes, artichoke, and onions from the garden. And the other day we harvested our mushrooms and made a curry noodle soup with the mushrooms and a bunch of greens from the garden. We finished off the bok choy, which is a big bummer because it was really good. Taco said that is the best bok choy he has ever had. And I let 2 of the plants go to seed. And now that the garden is getting so much bigger, I really need to update our watering system, because before it was just a couple of garden beds, but now it is a ton of garden beds, like a ton. And it's kind of a pain to be watering them all by hand. I love these timers so much. Ratios or Ratios, I'm not sure what they're called. It's connected to the internet, so if I see there's going to be a crazy hot day, I can send it through my phone to water it again if we're traveling. So that's why I picked those timers, and I have loved them. Constantly checking the weather. There's also the feature to skip if it rains. So yeah, those timers have been really great. We've had those for about 6 months, and I'm really enjoying them. And also on the to-do list, I'm just going to do a quick little fence here, and then eventually we will make a nicer fence, because these fruit trees are starting to look really nice with their new leaves, and they're kind of starting to stick out a bit. So I feel like it's only a matter of time before a deer shows up and eats my plants. I kind of also want to look into seeing if I can add like a wire to add another foot of height, and making just that wire electric. I haven't really looked into electric fences and seen how they work. I don't want to do the entire fence like top to bottom electric, because we have Roscoe and I know he's going to end up touching it, and I know it's only a matter of time before I forget to turn it off and touch it and electrocute myself probably multiple times. Taku will probably touch it on purpose and we always have friends coming through, so I just don't want anyone to get electrocuted. I'm sure they'll be fine, but it's going to be painful. And I've just been working in the garden, and it's finally starting to feel a little hot again, and we are waiting for the Dowser water witcher to stop by, and hopefully he'll confirm that there is water in that second site. If not, he might know another spot, but there's not a whole lot of options because we are on a hillside, and pretty much all of our land is a hill. We're still waiting on the water witcher. He is currently lost. We don't have the best signal in this area, and he messaged us a little while ago saying lost at the fire station. So Taku went to our local fire station to see if that's where he was, and he was not there. So we're not really sure which fire station he's at, and our calls and texts aren't going through to him. So hopefully he still makes it here today and we can get this done with and schedule the drilling. But yeah, we're not sure where he is.
Alright guys, so the second drill site, well, we're thinking we probably will try to do a second one. You might as well, because you miss every shot you don't take. That's kind of the mindset right now anyways. You know, if we don't drill, there's 0% of getting water. If we do drill, there's at least a little bit better than 0%, even if we hit that first dry well. So that's the mindset I'm going with at the moment. So we are gonna probably drill right here. This is one of the spots that Nathan sounded as well, but you know, who knows about that now. But Ensei's here. It's helping me take down this little roof structure. I really like this thing. I mean, it needed to be rebuilt anyways, because the posts are they use redwoods, and you know, it's not treated or anything, so it's all rotting down below. Anyway, so we're taking it down, and I'll probably keep it, move it somewhere else. We just got to take out a bunch of branches up above as well. You guys know the big truck, but if we hit water here, a good thing is it's really close to our house. So yeah, we're just taking it down.
The witcher finally came by and he showed us the spots.
In there. It's over there.
Over there.
Over that way.
Okay.
I tell people that. I said, I can, from here to your house.
Uh-huh.
I said, there's nothing at your house.
Oh, wow.
Like that, nothing there. See, there's nothing here.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is the site where we drilled.
They drill. Where'd they drill?
Just right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, from here on back.
Hmm.
And then, see, from here, that's the edge of one.
Mm-hmm.
Then it goes that way. 65, there was water there,
Mm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, there was a little bit amount of water that they hit right around. Yeah, right around there.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Like a shallower kind of, but
Yeah.
they weren't getting much. It was just a little bit coming out.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they went 200 and some feet and didn't hit it. And I wouldn't
Yeah.
come back here then.
Okay.
So now we just have to figure out which one do we want to dig. And he pretty much confirmed that the site over there that Nathan was worried is going to be the same as down the hill. He said there's no water there.
He straight up said, "You'd be wasting your money if you dug here." He's like, "There's no water here."
Nathan did a testing there, but he said it was too rocky, right?
Yeah. So they couldn't get a good reading because it was too rocky. But
Says there's water.
Doug the water witcher, thinks from 20 feet behind us here to that blue post, we can have water. He was doing his thing, counting. He's like going in circles, and then counting after maybe 60, 90 seconds. He was like, it's 105 feet deep. So in this spot, in this section specifically, and down below where we dug and had a dry well, if you remember during the drilling when we were about 70 feet deep, the guys were saying, "Oh, there's a little bit of water coming up already, so that's a good sign." And then past that, there was nothing. And then I had Doug down there, and he was like, "There's water here. There's water." And then he's doing his thing, and he said 65 feet. There's water. So right at where we were when we hit that little bit of water, and he mentions that he can tell you there's water there, but he can't tell you how much water. So, I mean, that was kind of accurate. That was kind of accurate. So, believe it or not.
Yeah. I mean, him and Nathan are in agreement with everything. Nathan said not to dig there, so the Witcher said not to dig there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nathan chose this spot for a reason, and the Witcher says there's water. We just couldn't confirm it with the readings. So,
Yeah.
they're both in agreement, so it seems like
Well,
we should...
So I'm thinking just right here where the water tank is actually, because that's going to be, the house is right here, the garage. So you can't really come in this way. You can't put it right here because that blocks the hill right here. This is like, it goes up. We have the fire road that goes up. Yeah. So we don't want to block that. So if we can just put it off to the side, like somewhere up in here.
Oh, careful with the froggy.
Somewhere up in here, or even exactly where the tank is. I think that would be an ideal spot because the rig can come in, just back up, boom, back in right here. I'll maybe have to, prep some stuff, move the tank, move these pipes, but they can put it all back in. I think that's it.
Roscoe and I just got back from our morning run. Usually we walk, but today we decided to try running. And Nancy actually started putting together a fence, and it looks way better than what I would have put together. I was planning to just do a little kind of janky little fence, but it was so professional. Taka's over here helping now. There she is. They just have to put the door. I've got the watering system already in there, and it's really hot and we're hungry, so we're gonna go get lunch. The watering system is all set up. The fence is done. We're still not really sure what we're going to do about the well. Tucker had another conversation with Nathan, and he is sending the results to someone else to have a look at them. The Witcher chose a spot that's really close to the house, so if there's water there, it would be really cheap because we don't have to do as much infrastructure to bring the water all the way up here. So if there's water there, that would be amazing. That's going to be everything for this video. We don't have a solution for the well yet, but hopefully in a few weeks with a little more insight, we'll know what to do. And we'll keep you guys updated on that, of course, as we figure out what to do. We might jump into other projects in the meantime as we think it over. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.